How to safely leave an abusive relationship. I left for all the right reasons, but in all the wrong ways, and I'm still paying for the consequences of that. So please learn from my mistakes, so you won't have to go through what I and so many other victims of abuse have had to endure when leaving unprepared and in fear. Leaving an abusive relationship can be extremely difficult, and victims of abuse often don't realize that they are being abused or the level of the abuse, and can often believe that they are the cause of their own abuse. So once you realize that you are being abused and you're ready to leave, you should do so quickly, but most importantly, carefully, and follow a safety plan to avoid potential escalation and violence that could endanger your life. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and use all the resources available to you to get out safely. I hardly did anything on this list that I will share with you now in the safety plan. Actually, I did many things you're not supposed to do, and things got really bad, even worse than the abuse experienced within the relationship. Having had this information beforehand would have made a huge difference and saved us years of suffering. So please listen carefully and take note. And never forget that walking away from something unhealthy, it is brave, even if you do stumble a bit on your way out the door. Navigating personal safety before, during, and after leaving an abusive situation. Taking strategic steps towards safety is vital for anyone entangled in an abusive relationship. These carefully crafted strategies aid in ensuring your safety while you're still dealing with the abuser, as you plan your exit and following the termination of the relationship. In the midst of an abusive situation, your well-being and that of your children should always be the paramount concern. Safety strategies encompass managing emotions, communicating the abuse to loved ones, pursuing legal recourse, and more. An effective safety strategy will contain all the essential information that you need, be custom fitted to your specific circumstances, and will guide you through various situations. And even if certain elements of this safety strategy appear self-evident, it's important, however, to remember that during crisis moments, your brain does not operate as effectively as when you're relaxed. Because in high stress situations, when you are filled with adrenaline, you're scared, your brain doesn't function in a normal way. And it's challenging to think lucidly or make rational decisions about your safety. So having a safety strategy designed beforehand can assist you in safeguarding yourself and your children during these tense moments. Maintaining safety while still with the abuser in the face of physical violence. Understanding your partner's pattern and severity of violence can help anticipate and assess potential physical harm to you and your children before it happens. So identify areas in the home that are weapon-free and provide escape routes. In case of an argument, aim to relocate to these areas. Avoid running towards the children's area, as your partner might pose a threat to them as well. If you cannot avoid violence, make yourself a less accessible target. Huddle in a corner and protectively curl into a ball, shielding your face and enclosing your head on both sides with your arms, fingers intertwined. If feasible, keep a phone with you and familiarize yourself with the numbers to dial for help. So locate the nearest public phone and keep your local shelter's phone number handy. If your life is in immediate danger, reach out to the police. Inform trusted friends and neighbors about the situation and devise a plan and visual sign for when you need assistance. Educate your children on how to seek help. Advise them against getting involved in the conflict between you and your partner. Arrange a code word that signals to them to seek help or to leave the home. Assure your children that violence is never justified, even when it is perpetuated by a loved one. And reassure them that it is neither nor their fault, nor you to blame, or the investigators of the violence, and that it is crucial to prioritize safety when someone is being violent. Run regular drills on how to exit safely. Practice this with your children. Plan for a situation if your children inadvertently inform your partner about your plan, or if your partner somehow discovers your exit plan. Ensure potential weapons like firearms and knives are securely stored and as inaccessible as possible. Make it a routine to park the car in reverse in the driveway, keeping it fueled. Keep the driver's door unlocked if possible and others locked for a swift getaway. Avoid wearing accessories like scarves or long jewelry that could potentially be used to choke you. Devise several believable excuses for leaving the house at various times of the day or night. Periodically reach out to a domestic violence hotline to assess your options and seek empathetic support. Planning to separate from your abuser. Secure a safe way to seek assistance. Be mindful that phone records and browser histories can be inspected. You may attempt to delete your call logs or internet browsing history and cookies. Some browsers also provide a private mode option. However, if you suspect your abuser is tracking your interactions, consider using a different computer or phone. Public libraries often provide computers with internet access. This could be a good starting point. Consider getting a prepaid mobile phone. This could be useful when seeking help and when you eventually decide to leave. Seek assistance from a support organization. Consider seeking guidance from a supportive organization on whether to relocate to a shelter. Most regions offer local resources for those affected by abuse. Establish your destination once you decide to leave and formulate a backup plan in case your partner uncovers your intentions or the plans get disrupted. If you haven't yet, begin discussing your circumstances with your friends and family. Approach someone that you trust or that you used to trust prior to the abuse and ask for their help. Try to specify what you'd like them to do for you, such as providing a place to stay, storing your exit bag, or calling the authorities on your behalf using a code word. Bear in mind that most abusers isolate their victims, instill feelings of helplessness and insecurity, and manipulate them into mistrusting others. A crucial aspect of the healing process is to openly discuss your situation, and the support from loved ones can be invaluable during your departure. Formulate an exit strategy. Try to accumulate emergency funds or secure credit. If your abuser controls finances strictly, restricts your access to money, or prevents you from earning your own income, establishing an emergency fund can be challenging. So try to gather any spare change, return goods to the store for cash, stash away any gift money, or explore other methods to accumulate some emergency cash. If securing cash provides too difficult, consider applying for a credit card under your name. Make sure the statements are sent to a PO box or work address or even a friend's home to prevent your abuser from discovering it. Avoid accessing your credit card account from your home computer. Prepare and conceal an emergency bag with essentials. Conceal this bag well, or even consider leaving it at someone else's home. Pack lightly, but make sure to include the following: changes of clothes for you and your children, copies of important documents like birth certificates, passports, driver's license, bank or credit card account information, pay stubs, social security cards, etc. If time permits, also include citizenship documents such as passport, green card, etc., titles, deeds and other priority information, medical records, children's school and immunization records, insurance information, address book, copies of marriage license, birth certificate, will and other legal documents, verification of social security numbers, medications for you and your children, personal items like photographs, personal possessions or jewelry, a prepaid cell phone. Do not take your usual cell phone with you as it can be tracked. Delete your calls and search history before you go. Jewelry or other small items that you could sell if needed, non-perishable snacks. Document evidence of abuse. Avoid instigating instances of abuse to gather evidence. Keep a record of all violent incidents, noting dates, events and threats made if possible. Store these records in a secure hidden location. Formulate a plan considering the possibility that your children may unintentionally disclose your plan to your partner, or if your partner somehow discovers it. Strategize with your children and identify a secure location for them, such as a locked room or a friend's house where they can seek assistance. Reassure them that their primary responsibility is to ensure their own safety and not to intervene. Reach out to a local support organization to learn about the laws and resources available to you in preparation for any potential crisis. Enhance your job skills or consider enrolling in courses at a local community college when you can. Attempt to save money or ask friends or family members to save money on your behalf. Hide an extra car key and make sure it's available when you decide to leave. Position the car for a quick exit and leave the driver's door open just before your planned departure. And keep the other doors locked unless you're taking your children with you. Avoid seeking refuge in nearby neighbors' homes, close relatives' houses, and mutual friends' places. Consider the implications of taking your children with you. Discuss with a legal professional about the implications of taking your children with you before you leave. While it's essential to protect them from harm, you wouldn't want to jeopardize your future chances of gaining or maintaining custody of your children. Make arrangements for your pets. Consider the safety of your pets as well. Many individuals, particularly women, remain in abusive relationships due to the concern over their pets' welfare should they leave. Some shelters may allow pets. If not, you may be able to arrange for a friend or neighbor to take care of your pet or taking it to a no-kill shelter for safekeeping. Ultimately, recognize that your own life is more important than that of a pet, however painful the realization may be. Plan to leave during a safe period. Aiming to leave when your abuser is absent from home, unless an immediate escape is necessary due to a violent episode, is typically the best course of action. So arrange your departure for a time when the abuser will be out of the home for a substantial period. Allow yourself enough time to collect your emergency bag and reach safety before they realize that you're gone. You're under no obligation to leave a note or explain your departure. It's perfectly fine to simply leave. If you don't have your own means of transport, organize for someone to pick you up, or if you feel you're in immediate danger, have the police escort you from your home. Avoid taking your cell phone. Store crucial numbers elsewhere or memorize them. Your cell phone could very well be configured for tracking where you are, for reading your SMS, emails, phone history, all of that. So think about getting a prepaid cell phone to pack in your emergency bag. This will enable you to make important calls related to your escape and safety without potentially revealing your location and what you're planning for your abuser. Exit quickly without being tracked. So while you should ideally proceed directly to your secure location, like a shelter or a friend's or family member's home, consider taking a roundabout route and keep an eye out to ensure you're not being followed. Try to blend into traffic, take side streets, double back on part of your route, and take note of any vehicles that seem to be following your path. Establish a misleading trail post-departure. If you suspect your abuser will attempt to track you, which most do, consider setting a false trail after you left. Use your cell phone to call a hotel far from your real destination and use a shared credit card or bank account to pay for a room, ensuring an email confirmation is sent to a shared or monitored mail. You could also reserve a rental car in the same area or leave a message for a real estate agent asking a call back at your home number. Discard or abandon your cell phone before you reach your actual destination to avoid tracking. Head straight to safety. Whether your safety place is a shelter or the home of someone that you know, go directly there. Shelters and abuse victim support organizations have trained staff or volunteers ready to help with a what now you're likely to be facing when you leave. So even if you're staying with friends or family, it's worth reaching out to a victim support organization for access to legal assistance, counseling, support groups, employment training, financial aid, the things that you might need. Ensure your immediate safety. So regardless of the precautions you've taken, there's a chance your abuser could locate you. So prepare for this contingency, which likely involves calling the police immediately. If your abuser appears and pleads for your return, refuse. At this point, they'll likely promise anything to entice you back, but returning could jeopardize your life. Add extra security layers. Some companies only need your social security number and your mother's maiden name for account access, which your abuser likely has. So request additional account protection or supply incorrect but memorable responses to security questions. Alter your work practices. If you're employed, discuss with your employer about implementing changes for your safety. Some states require employers to provide reasonable accommodation for abuse survivors even. So explore options such as changing locations, altering work hours, or having additional personal security when commuting between your workplace and your vehicle. Maintain confidential contact information. Once you move to a new home, get an unlisted home phone number. Use a PO box or inquire about your state's confidential address program for mail. Take these steps to make it harder to trace your location. If you have children, discuss with them the importance of keeping their home address secret and not disclosing it to your abuser or to any strangers. Reset all your passwords. Every online account you possess could potentially reveal personal information. To ensure safety, modify all your passwords for all your accounts, including financial accounts, social media accounts, email accounts, and so on. In fact, consider temporarily or permanently disabling social media accounts and changing your email address to enhance your privacy. Implement a safety plan if abuser discovers your location. Despite all your Okay, we've done that. Skip that. Acquire legal protection. In many jurisdictions, survivors of abuse can seek legal protection such as a restraining order or order of protection. This legal document orders the abuser to stay a certain distance away from you or cease contacting you. While this isn't necessarily a guarantee for your safety, it provides a legal framework that later can result in consequences for the abuser if violated. So consult with a local organization for legal representation to understand the process in your area. Engage with supportive networks. So connect with support groups or organizations for survivors of abuse. These groups provide valuable resources, advice, and emotional support that can greatly aid in your recovery process. It can be incredibly comforting to connect with individuals who understand your experiences. Seek professional help. Consider professional help from therapists, counselors who specialize in domestic violence. They can provide guidance and therapeutic strategies to help you cope with the traumatic experiences that you've faced and can assist you in rebuilding your life and healing. Remember, it's not your fault. It's important to understand what you've been through and to not blame yourself for the abuse that you've endured. Abuse is never the fault of the victim, but is solely the responsibility of the abuser. As you heal, focus on self-care and be patient with yourself. Recovery takes time, but you're not alone. And there are numerous resources and people ready to provide. Consult an attorney. Engaging the services of an attorney will likely be crucial in navigating the legal challenges that you will encounter. If you were married to your abuser, have children together, or if you're an immigrant, there may be legal changes and processes that require professional assistance. So even if you lack financial resources, there are options available. Some attorneys may include provisions for fees in the event of a favorable court outcome, while others may offer pro bono services. Seek guidance and resources from a shelter. Shelters often provide guidance on obtaining legal help, and some shelters even offer free legal services specifically for survivors of domestic violence. Even if you're not currently residing in a shelter, reach out to the organization, typically through their helpline, to inquire about free or low-cost legal support. Certain organizations also assist with immigration services for immigrant victims of domestic violence, ensuring that you need not remain in an abusive situation out of fear of deportation. Remember, you have the right to be free from violence, regardless of your immigration status. File for a personal protection order, PPO. A PPO is a legally backed document that grants you protection from a past abuser. To file for a PPO, gather any evidence of the abuse you have, along with a letter detailing the abusive situation and the relationship with your abuser, and bring them to your local courthouse. The courthouse staff will provide further instructions on completing the necessary paperwork to obtain a legal PPO. After filing, if your PPO is approved, it must be formally served to your abuser, and you will need to file proof of service with the court. Consult with the courthouse clerk to understand the process. Once you have a PPO, ensure you keep it with you all times. If your abuser violates the terms of the PPO, you may need to present it to the police. It is important to note that a PPO does not guarantee your absolute protection. While it can facilitate the arrest of your abuser in case of further incidents, it may not completely prevent a violent abuser from approaching you. Take appropriate steps for divorce or child custody. After leaving your abuser, you will need to sever legal ties. If you are unmarried and have no children, this process may involve cancelling joint accounts and other similar actions. However, if you were married and have children, you may encounter complex legal battles that will require interactions with your abuser, such as courtroom proceedings. Prepare yourself by relying on the support system you have in place, including your shelter, your legal counsel, friends, family, and therapists. Consider filing assault charges. If you have recently been abused or have records of the abuse, such as police or medical reports, you can file assault charges against your abuser. It may be possible to pursue assault charges even without physical evidence, especially if you can provide witnesses to the abuse. However, having collected physical evidence of assault before leaving can really strengthen your case. So keep in mind that your situation may involve multiple legal aspects such as divorce, child custody, assault charges, and seeking a PPO. Due to the complexity of these charges, it is essential to engage the services of a lawyer. Attend therapy sessions. Seeking therapy, whether individual or group therapy, can be incredibly beneficial in your healing journey. Surviving abuse and leaving an abusive relationship require immense strength, and leaning on others through therapy can help you heal, stay resilient, and prepare you for healthier relationships in the future. Remember, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. And I'd also recommend you to meditate, to practice mindfulness, to learn how to observe your thoughts, and do everything that you can to heal the trauma that you've been through. Here are some additional tips to after you have left your abuser. If the abuser is leaving your home, change all your locks and phone numbers. Alter your work hours and commute routes to and from work. Change the transportation route for your children to and from school. If you are leaving or moving to new residence, consider renting a post office box or using a friend's address for your mail. Be mindful that addresses are often included in restraining orders and police reports. Be cautious about sharing your new address and phone number. Take steps to protect your safety. Reschedule appointments that your abuser is aware of. Frequent different stores and social spots. Inform neighbors and ask them to contact the police if they suspect you're in danger. Share the details of the violence with trusted individuals. Upgrade to steel or metal doors and consider installing a security system. Install motion-sensitive lighting around your residence. Inform your workplace about your situation and request call screening if possible. Notify caretakers of your children about who can pick them up, providing them with a copy of the restraining order, if applicable. Contact the telephone company to request caller ID and block your phone number to prevent your abuser from obtaining your new unlisted number. Here's some additional information on safety planning with children. So if you're in an abusive relationship, it's crucial to include safety measures for your children when violence occurs at home. Remember that when violence escalates, avoid running to your children as the abuser may harm them too. Develop a safety plan with your children that includes teaching them when and how to call the police, instructing them to leave the home if possible, and identifying safe places to go. Establishing a secret code word for emergencies without disclosing its meaning to others. Designating a safe room in the home can provide them with safety, comfort, and focus when scared. Advise them to stay away from areas with potential weapons such as kitchen or bathroom, emphasizing that while they may want to protect you, they should not intervene physically. assisting them in creating a list of trusted individuals to talk to and express themselves, enrolling them in a counselling program offered by local service providers. Safety planning during pregnancy. Pregnancy is a time of change and added need for support. If your partner is emotionally or physically abusive, seek resources to ensure a safe and healthy pregnancy. Pregnancy can be a particularly dangerous period for women in abusive relationships. Beware that approximately 1.5 million women experience intimate partner violence annually, with as many as 324,000 pregnant women affected. Seek support tailored to expecting women to navigate the unique challenges that you may face. Planning for unsupervised visits. If you have separated from an abusive partner and are concerned about your children's safety during the visits, develop a safety plan for those times. So collaborate with your children, if they're old enough, to determine ways that they can stay safe, mirroring the strategies used in your own home. Teach them where to find a phone, how to leave the house, and who they can turn to for help. If it's safe to do so, provide them with a cell phone for emergencies, such as contacting the police, a neighbor, or you. Planning for safe custody exchanges. Avoid exchanging custody at your home or your partner's home. Instead, opt for safe public locations such as restaurants, areas with extensive camera coverage like banks, or even near a police station. Consider planning safe custody exchanges by bringing a friend or relative with you to these exchanges, or having them handle the exchange on your behalf. Exploring the options of having your partner pick up the children from school at the end of the day after you drop them off in the morning, minimizing the chances of direct interaction. Developing an emotional safety plan for yourself before and after the exchange, engaging in activities that will help you calm your nerves and focus on self-care, or spending quality time with your children, such as visiting a park or engaging in a fun activity together. How to have these conversations. When discussing safety plans with your child, it is important to convey certain key messages. Assure them that what is happening is not their fault and that they are not responsible for the abuse. Express your love for them and let them know that you are there to support and protect them. Emphasize the importance of everyone's safety and explain that the plan is in place to handle emergencies. Use phrases such as, "We're practicing what to do in an emergency," rather than directly mentioning the abusive partner. Be aware that children may inadvertently disclose information to the abusers, so exercise caution and focus on building their understanding of safety without compromising their well-being. Remember, seeking professional support and guidance from therapists, counselors, and support groups can greatly assist you in navigating the complexities of post-abuse life, healing from trauma, and building a brighter future for yourself and your children. How to get help. If you're pregnant, it is important to be aware of the increased risk during violent situations. If your home has stairs, try to stay on the first floor to minimize the risk of falls and injuries. Additionally, adopting the fetal position around your stomach can be a protective tactic during attacks. Doctor's visits can provide an opportunity to discuss your relationship situation. If your partner accompanies you to these appointments, try to find a moment when they're out of the room to seek privacy with your healthcare provider or the front desk receptionist. They can assist you in coming up with an excuse to have a one-on-one conversation. When you made the decision to leave your relationship, involving a healthcare provider in your plan can make them an active participant in your journey to leave. Consider taking a women-only prenatal class if possible. These type of classes can create a comfortable environment for discussing pregnancy concerns and allow you to speak privately with the instructor. Emotional safety planning. In addition to physical safety, it's crucial to prioritize your emotional well-being. Creating an emotional safety plan tailored to your needs can help you navigate difficult emotions and making empowering decisions. Here are some ideas for developing and maintaining your emotional safety plan. Seek out supportive individuals. Surround yourself with caring and trustworthy friends and family members who can provide a calm atmosphere for discussing challenging situations and exploring options. Set achievable goals. Identify small steps you can take, such as reaching out to your local resources or speaking with advocates, to gradually empower yourself and make options feel more attainable. Create a peaceful space. So designate a physical place where you can relax and feel safe, whether it's a room in your home, a serene spot in nature, or a comfortable corner with soothing elements. Remind yourself of your worth. Recognize and affirm your value as a person, and remember that any abusive behavior directed towards you is not your fault and does not diminish your inherent worth. Practice self-care. Dedicate time every day, even if only a few minutes, to really prioritize self-care. Engage in activities that will bring you peace and allow you to step back from your situation. Being kind to yourself is essential for emotional well-being and making decisions that serve your best interests. Remember, reaching out for support is a courageous step towards creating a safer and healthier future for yourself. You can come join our free community. You can also download free books and mental health resources via the link in my bio in the description.